These are 6 perfumes that I loved so much that once I discovered them, they completely replaced my first loves. This is not necessarily a dupes video because some of these are actually more expensive. They definitely are very, very similar in scent, which is why they've replaced them. I try to really curate my collection so that I don't have a whole lot of the same thing. So because of that, when I find something that I really, really fall in love with and it ends up replacing something that I already have, I just get rid of the other one that was a previous love but has been replaced. And this definitely does not happen often, especially with newer perfumes coming out nowadays. Things just aren't as good and I don't find myself being super wowed. So this is a rare occasion. I think one of the best signs that shows that you found an incredible perfume is not just that you love wearing it, but it's when you slowly stop reaching for something that you used to be obsessed with and now you're only reaching for this. And I don't mean the old perfumes just got bad. They're still really good. It's just through finding new stuff, our tastes evolve, and every once in a while there comes a perfume that scratches that same itch but a little bit better. Nowadays, a perfume really has to earn itself into my collection, and it's also major when a perfume comes in that completely overtakes something that I already was loving and using. And that is this little list of fragrances I have here. So with that said, let's get started. My first replacement, and this is actually shockingly going to be a perfume that I'm going to be decluttering completely out of my collection because I just feel like I don't have a use for it. I found something that does this exact thing so much better. It's rare that you come across something that literally hits everything you've been looking for, but this release really has done that for me. I have replaced my Eclair and I will be decluttering this. I'm going to do a future declutter video because I haven't yet really sat down with my collection and gathered up a good enough list to list yet. But this will be going up. I know, shocking. I have loved Eclair and I have recommended this time and time again, but that is because I didn't know that this perfume existed, and it didn't exist. It literally just recently came out. I think a couple months ago. I did a full dedicated review to this. But this is the new Skylar True Love's Cake. This literally takes the cake as the best gourmand I have ever laid my nose on. Once this became a part of my collection, I was like, I can literally throw away any gourmand that I ever have had because this is my perfect gourmand. It's gourmand, it's sweet, and makes you smell edible, but there's still a wearable aspect to it. There's not a nauseating, sickly sweet kind of vibe that, I'm not gonna lie, at times I feel like Eclair had because of the other notes that are going on in this. This has like rose. Not that you smell it, but there are notes that make this just so much more wearable, but the creaminess, the smoothness, the sweetness is unbeatable. This entire video, by the way, is not sponsored. I will have these listed here or here, so you can find these perfumes listed, and I do earn a little bit of commission if you purchase through those links. So if you want to support me, that would be greatly appreciated, but I am not sponsored by any one of these companies. I truly just cannot say enough good things about it. I don't see anything that can come and make this even better. It's the best gourmand of all time. I highly recommend True Love's Cake if you are into that cake, sweet, edible scent, but you still want a wearable aspect. This scent is just way too good. This is not bad at all. This was a huge favorite for a long time, and it has that creamy buttercream kind of frosting, so not bad at all. But if you want something smooth and amazing, you don't have to let it macerate, none of that. True Love's Cake, this is incredible. It does this a million times better in my opinion. Like I said, this is not dupes. This is a little bit pricier than this, but I think this is well worth the price point. Next up, and you guys have heard me talk about this time and time again, and I'm gonna continue to talk about it because this has completely replaced a $400 fragrance for me, and it is a fragrance from Dossier. I do work with Dossier. This particular video is not sponsored, but I mean, this has just earned a permanent place in my collection. I just do not see myself ever purchasing the perfume that this is duping ever again. That's how good this is, and I love that perfume for a long time. I had it in my collection, I used it, I went through a full bottle, purchased another bottle. I was head over heels, but when this came into my life, I feel like I no longer need to purchase that perfume, which, like I said, $400, and this is I think $40. This is Woody Lychee, and this is the dupe for Attrape-Reve by Louis Vuitton, which is like this rose lychee, sweet, ultra feminine, ultra sexy. This is one of those perfumes you wear and you will get a compliment. Guaranteed you will get a compliment. So good, and it smells identical. I was well acquainted with that perfume. Like I said, I went through a full bottle. I love the second bottle. I knew that perfume through and through, and this, I'm not joking, is that perfume. I don't know how they did it, but it's exact. I don't notice any difference in it. The longevity is the same, everything is the same, but the price point. So if you want just an incredible dupe, woody lychee, especially if you loved Attrape-Reves like me, this is incredible. I also recently-ish, like I think in the last 6 months or so, I decluttered my Alien Goddess, which I had for a very long time in my collection because I did like it. It was a nice go-to summertime scent, but it always felt a little basic to me. I kept it in my collection because it was a nice go-to summer sexy scent, but once this entered the chat, I completely put that scent in the back burner. Up until when I was looking at these side by side, I was like, okay, I'd much rather keep this, because if I'm ever gonna go for a summertime sexy going out type of scent, I will 1000% reach for this over that. This is Divine from Jean Paul Gaultier, and it truly is divine. This has some citrus notes, has that typical ylang ylang, very tropical vibe, jasmine, very feminine. It smells like a goddess. I feel like this should be called Goddess. It smells way more elevated to me, more elegant. There's a lot more going on. There's more of a uniqueness. It's a powerhouse scent, and I feel like Alien Goddess is just like that basic, beachy kind of scent. I mean, compared to this, it's like, it doesn't compare, because this is a million times better in my opinion. If you want a perfect going out summertime tropical type of scent, this is it. I've heard crazy things about the compliments that people have received with this scent. I first smelled this on a cruise and I was so tempted to buy it, but I didn't, and I kept thinking and thinking and thinking about it, and I actually ordered this off of Mercari for I think like $40 or maybe even 30, and it's a full 100ml bottle, fully authentic, literally for 30 bucks. So I'm very glad I didn't get that on the cruise, because I think I was gonna pay like $150 for it, and I bought it for like $30 or $40. This next one is Lar Rev by Once Perfumery. I discovered this through working with Scent Angel a while back, and again, not sponsored. I didn't even know this when I got this, but it ended up being the best discovery ever, because at that time I was looking into Givenchy L'Interdit Rouge, which is supposed to be like this really sexy, red, powerful, powerhouse kind of a scent. But I went in and smelled it, and even though there was something really magnetic that I did like about the scent, there was also something that I didn't. Something about it wasn't working really well on my skin. It felt a little all over the place. The patchouli kind of ate up all the other notes, and it was kind of all I could smell. It was like too spicy, too patchouli, just it came off too earthy. I could see the sexiness in it, and a part of me really wanted to get it, but I just wasn't completely in love with it, so I didn't. And around that same time is when I discovered Lar Rev, and this gives you so much of what I feel like Givenchy L'Interdit gave, but in a better way. It's smoother, it's not eaten up by patchouli, it's not giving dirty earthiness or anything like that. It's perfection. It's ultra sexy, dark, femme fatale, mysterious. It has some prettier florals in it, like peony, tuberose, orange blossom, jasmine. I feel like kind of give it more of like a feminine and smoother vibe overall, but it still has those powerhouse, powerful notes in it, like vetiver and patchouli. Still has that earthiness, but not in a way that just is completely gonna eat up all the other notes. Everything in here is beautifully balanced, and it's just the sexiest, dark, mysterious scent. I feel like this is hot girl leather jacket red lipstick kind of a perfume. It's so hot. I'm so happy that I didn't just settle with L'Interdit Rouge, because this was headed my way, and this is a trillion times better. I definitely grew up a lover of Viva La Juicy. All of Juicy Couture I'm obsessed with. I still wear Juicy tracksuits, vintage ones. The newer ones are not the same, but vintage Juicy is where it's at. But with that being said, I've loved and still love many Juicy Couture fragrances, and of course I was obsessed with Viva La Juicy growing up, but that was overtaken by Tease very, very quickly. This is very similar in scent to Viva La Juicy, but this actually lasts. For me, even though I love Viva La Juicy, that scent never lasted on me. This lasts forever, and this is also just such a special perfume in my collection. I've mentioned this a lot. My OG viewers know this, but this is the perfume I met my husband in. It's one of the very, very first perfumes that I was using 9 years ago. It was one of my OGs, it still is. This completely overtook Viva La Juicy for me, and it's the same exact scent, essentially. I just feel like this is just a bit stronger and lasts better, and that's why I love it. And I feel like, I don't know, it's like a woodier, sexier vibe in it overall. It's just so good. And last but not least, this perfume technically didn't bump out this other perfume that I love because I had already decluttered this perfume I'm talking about before this came into my life, and I'm talking about Black Opium. I had such a strong attachment to Black Opium because it was one of my first big girl perfume purchases. Like when I really got into perfumes, back when I first started this channel, when I got Black Opium, I actually was working at Ulta at the time, so I used my employee discount to get Black Opium, and I remember I was like so excited about it. I think I got it at the same time as Good Girl. So those two scents were just like, I was really attached to them because they were like some of my very first big girl perfumes, you know, like sexy grown-up perfumes. And I had Black Opium for so long in my collection. I used it from time to time, but I'm not gonna lie to you, I did not use it nearly as much as I thought I was going to. It was one of those perfumes that kind of just always sat there, and I would do declutters, I would go to it. I never wanted to declutter it, but I also was not actively using it all that much until I finally decluttered it, I think this past year, after literally having it in my collection for like 5 or 6 years. With that said, even though I decluttered it, I was still very much kind of attached to it. I just kind of stopped caring. Okay, I'm attached to it, I really like it, but it doesn't mean I need to own it if I'm not actively using it, because then that's just wasteful. So I decluttered it. But it's always been at the kind of back of my mind because I do really like the scent profile. As much as it's been deemed this really basic kind of a scent, I always really liked it. But I do not miss it anymore because when this came into my life, I was like, this is like Black Opium's hotter, sexier older sister. And that is Azam from Paris Corner. This is an Arab fragrance that is also happens to be a fraction of the cost of Black Opium, so bonus there. This is like Black Opium, but it's like hotter, it's sexier, it's a little fruitier, and minus the coffee. That's the only thing when it came to Black Opium. I did really like it, and I like the coffee in it, but sometimes the coffee felt a bit too sharp. It came off a little too bitter, so I wasn't always the biggest fan. And this is like Black Opium. It's like that same sexy femme fatale, going out, date night, boozy, rich kind of a vibe, but without any sort of coffee note, because this doesn't have a coffee note. This has rum, it has pear, jasmine, it has vanilla, so similar-ish notes to Black Opium, just done 10 times better. No bitterness, smooth, it's perfection. Like, this smells so good. It smells so high-end. It smells literally like Black Opium's hotter older sister. I no longer miss Black Opium because I feel like I have it in my collection, but a million times better, and I didn't have to spend half as much to get a way better version of it, so this is just a bonus in all categories. And that is it. Those are all of the fragrances that have bumped other perfumes that I thought I loved. This is inevitable because there always will be new perfume releases, but I think at the same time it's also a little bit rare to come across perfumes like these that just completely take out old loves. And I do feel like with some of these loves that I had before, I was settling for some of them because I did like most things about them, but there was things that I felt like they were missing. So when these came into my life, these just fit everything that I was looking for. So that is why they just completely bumped it out, which is inevitable. It happens. There's trillions of perfumes out there. Let me know any perfumes you have like this that have completely just been overtaken by newer perfumes that you've discovered. Let me know in the comments down below. That is it for me today. Please subscribe to my channel if you haven't already and turn post notifications on, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.